cliff. Jay Cutler's career has been consistent in one thing: inconsistency. Brilliant one game,
Touchdown!
baffling the next.
Down he goes. You felt him coming, Jay did not.
Which Jay Cutler will suit up tonight? In Miami, inconsistency is compounded by injury. Already 2 quarterbacks down and out. Now, number 3 enters the breach. Tonight, 2 teams fight to overcome themselves and each other. The stakes are simple. Keep your season alive.
Week 11 of the NFL season begins right here on NFL Network. Thursday Night Football as the Miami Dolphins play host to the Chicago Bears from Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Beautiful evening, 77 degrees, winds out of the north at 10 miles per hour. It's the Bears and Dolphins. Moments ago, Alex Flanagan spoke with the Bears' Brian Urlacher.
Brian, playing a team tonight with a new quarterback, what's your approach to a guy that might be a little bit more mobile?
Read our keys to stay in our gaps. You know, he's in the NFL for a reason, so we got to play fast. Usually takes care of everything if you play fast.
Week 11, we're about ready to start it.
Our gaps, you know, he's in the NFL for a reason, so we got to play fast. Usually takes care of everything if you play fast.
Week 11, we're about ready to start it. At this point in the season, describe how your defense is playing.
We're getting better every week. That's what we got to do. I think as the season goes on, it's to get better. And we've done that every week. Just got to keep doing it.
6-3 atop the division, but how important is this game?
Well, they're all important from here on out. November, December, the games are the biggest. We want to keep pace with Green Bay. They don't play tonight, but we got to keep winning.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Brian Urlacher, a key component for Lovie Smith, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, founded in 1920 as the Decatur Staley, 699 regular season wins for this charter franchise. The Miami Dolphins, they're led by head coach Tony Sparano. Sparano in his 3rd year, 23-18, after spending 5 years as an assistant with the Dallas Cowboys. The Bears won the coin toss. They've elected to defer the second half, so Robbie Gould will kick it off to rookie Nolan Carroll out of Maryland, averaging 23.9 yards a kickoff return. The Dolphins have gone 306 straight home games without a kickoff return for a touchdown. Last happened in 1970 in the Orange Bowl with Mercury Morris. Tonight's game is being presented on NFL Network in beautiful HD wherever available. And week 11 of the NFL season is underway on Thursday Night Football. Carroll from the 8. On Gold across midfield. Return of 43 yards. Zachary Bowman on the tackle.
Now, the one thing you can't do, if you're an outside guy, you can't get taken around. I mean, you just can't let anybody get outside of you. That's exactly what happened with the Bears. You start to get cute and look inside, Matt. Goes right around the corner.
Tyler Thigpen gets his first start for Miami after coming off the bench last week. Throws on first down, feeds it to Brandon Marshall. It's a gain of 9 on the play. We take a look at Tyler Thigpen, the first starting quarterback at Coastal Carolina in 2003 as they started their program, drafted by the Vikings, wound up in Kansas City. In 2009, Bill Parcells traded for him, brought him here to Miami with the Dolphins. 20 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Came off the bench last week at 6-12 to help secure the win against Tennessee. Brandon Marshall shaken up on the last play. Ronnie Brown, the tailback, on a 2nd and 1. First down as he takes on safety Chris Harris, who makes the tackle. Well, take a look at the starting offensive unit for the Miami Dolphins, ranked 16th in the league. Vernon Carey, the right tackle. They're playing without their starting center tonight, Joe Berger, so Corey Proctor gets the start. Jake Long battling a shoulder injury. Ronnie Brown, 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. Brandon Marshall with only 1 touchdown catch this season. On a 1st and 10 from the Chicago 35. Hartline goes in motion. And around, fumbled by Hartline, and he pounces on it at the 44-yard line. It'll be a loss of 8 on the play.
Right now, the Chicago Bears know that the Miami Dolphins not only have a quarterback, but they also have a new center and an injured left tackle. And as you look at the fumble, the thing you have to know is the Bears drop a safety down, which is very uncharacteristic of them. They like to play with both safeties back and handle the run game with the front 7. Knowing that the Dolphins are going to have to rely on the run game, they're going to load up their defensive front.
Second and 18 after the loss of 8. Ricky Williams is checked in as Fasano goes in motion. For the Bears, 44. Big Pen, Hartline, a gain of 4 on the play. DJ Moore, second-year player out of Vanderbilt, on the tackle. Here's the defense for the Miami Dolphins. The big acquisition, the signing of Julius Peppers in the offseason. 32 tackles on the season. Lance Briggs playing great football. Brian Urlacher played just 1 game last year. Good secondary with Tim Jennings, Chris Harris, Danielle Manning, and Charles Peanut Tillman in his 8th year out of Louisiana Lafayette. Third and 15 on the opening possession. Big Pen under pressure, runs out of a sack, and then gets dropped by Henry Melton at the 44-yard line. It's a loss of 4.
You start talking about Chicago Bear defense, the whole basis of this defense is play coverage and rush with 4. And they're able to get pressure here with their 4. Melton just off the edge, beats the tackle and gets a sack.
The dangerous Devin Hester back deep. 9 punt returns for touchdowns in his career. 13 returns in total. Fields to punt. Hester a fair catch at the 12. 32-yard punt, no return. So Tony Sperano handles the return of Devin Hester. We're in Miami on a Thursday night. Bears and Dolphins.
Southwest is having a nationwide sale with flights all over the country starting at only $59. As the nation's largest domestic airline, we have a flight that fits your budget anywhere Southwest flies. But the sale can't last forever, so you need to hurry and use this to go to southwest.com and book your flight before it's too late, because with $59 fares available every day of the week, these fares are going to go fast. Book your $59 Southwest getaway only at southwest.com.
Spice up your NFL season with Papa John's new Zesty Jalapeno and Meats Pizza.
Papa's in the house.
The clock is running and there's no timeouts. Choose a large Zesty Jalapeno and Meats Pizza with pepperoni and real spicy Italian sausage. Or a Tuscan 6-cheese pizza, just $11 for a limited time. Order now at papajohns.com. These $11 specialty pizzas are going fast and we can't stop the clock.
Better pizza, Papa John's! Yeah!
They've been tested, built, and driven like no other. And now they're being offered like no other. Come to the winter event and get an exceptional offer on the Mercedes-Benz of your dreams. It's our way of showing a little holiday spirit. But hurry, the offer ends soon.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And delivered by the new papajohns.com. Just a click of the mouse. Papa's in the house.
On a gorgeous night, we welcome you back to Miami Gardens, Florida. First offensive possession for Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears, who come in with a record of 6-3, having won 2 in a row. From their own 12, Forte loses 2. And Langford on the tackle. Well, they've regrouped the offensive line. Rookie Jamarcus Webb, a 7th-round draft pick at the right tackle, has done a wonderful job. They've moved Chris Williams from tackle to guard, and it's really handled the protection for the Chicago Bears, as they've only yielded 3 sacks in the last 2 games. Greg Olsen, 24 catches and 4 touchdowns at the tight end spot. Cutler to throw, under some pressure, and he throws it away. Here's the defense for the Miami Dolphins, who give up 19 points a game. They work out of a 3-4 front. One of the key components has been Koa Misi, the rookie linebacker out of Utah, 3.5 sacks. Channing Crowder, Carlos Dansby, the free agent acquisition. Cameron Wake, 8.5 sacks. Good young corners with Vontae Davis and Sean Smith.
And that was interesting right there, because he was in the end zone, Joe, and if they would have called intentional grounding, that would have been a safety.
And they talked about it, too.
They did. They met and talked about it.
Third and 12 for Chicago. They'll just run it with Forte off the left side. Randy Starks with the first hit, gain of 4, and a 3-and-out for Chicago.
He's talking to Coach Sperano. He thought that they had the best chance to win because of his defense. He thought his defense matched up well with his Chicago Bear offensive front.
And I was a little bit surprised what Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, did with Tyler Thigpen early. He had him moving, throwing back, and just a bad handoff on the fumble.
Brad Maynard to punt. Just gets it away to the near sideline. Takes a favorable roll for the Bears and bounds out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. Brad Maynard with that punt moves into 3rd place all-time on the NFL punt list, 1,227. Back to Miami after this.
What is cloud computing?
A cloud is a workload-optimized service management platform enabling
new consumption and delivery models.
It's what?
My cloud does email.
Lowers my energy bill.
Shares pictures.
We collaborate on our cloud.
I developed software in my cloud.
I want a cloud that understands risk.
Compares patient history.
Predicts traffic patterns.
My cloud is
everywhere.
My cloud is secure.
Simple.
Powerful. Flexible.
That's what we're working on.
I'm an IBMer.
Let's build a smarter planet.
Oh, we miss you, honey.
I'll be home soon. Until then, I have my wingman helping me out. Tommy?
I helped Dad pick it out.
It's beautiful.
Behind every open heart is a story. Tell yours with my open heart collection at Kay Jewelers, the #1 jewelry store in America. There are millions of reasons to give one, but the message is always the same. Keep your heart open, and love will always find its way in.
I love you.
I love you too.
Every kiss begins with Kay.
I'm in a timeout because apparently riding the dog like it's a small horse is frowned upon in this establishment. Luckily, though, I can conceal this bad boy underneath my blanket just so I can get on E-Trade, check my investment portfolio, research stocks, and set conditional orders. Wait, why are you taking... Oh, I see. Hey, Max, would it kill you to throw a guy a warning bark? You know, I wanted a bird.
E-Trade. Investing unleashed. Jeremy Macklin explains why the Eagles are on fire. Tomorrow at 7, only on NFL Network.
Back in Miami, second offensive possession for the Dolphins coming up with a scoreless first quarter. Good field position again. Miami starts from their 41. Ricky Williams with a flag flying. No gain on the play. Nick Roach and Lance Briggs on the tackle, but we'll check the flag from referee Bill Levy.
Number 74 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's the rookie right guard, John Jerry, third-round pick out of Mississippi.
You're going to watch him right there, number 74 on a pull. And he just grabs Lance Briggs.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a hold, more like a pull down.
Well, when you get your arm that far away from your body, it's sort of hard to turn around and plead a case.
And you know, Joe, that's what they see. When they see it away from the body, they're going to flag that.
Talking with offensive line coach David Guglielmo before the game, and he said, you know, Jerry's one of these guys that's going to fight them all night long. He's a rookie, but they like his upside. They'll run it to Ricky Williams, and Williams picks up 2. Well, since the win on Sunday against Tennessee, Miami has had more than just a short week. Chad Pennington was lost in the first quarter, 2 passes into the game. Chad Henne comes in, hurts his knee in the third quarter. Tyler Thigpen comes in and finishes up the game. So they bring in 5 quarterbacks on Monday. Eventually, they sign 2. Patrick Ramsey to the active roster, Tom Brandstater to the practice squad, and Chad Pennington placed on injured reserve. Not what you want in a short week. Devon Best in space out across the 40, back to the original line of scrimmage as he picks up 9.
Now, those are the kind of plays that I would expect from Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, for Tyler Thigpen. Get the ball out of his hands quickly and try and run the football. Now you cannot afford to lose people up front. You've already got Jake Long with a bad shoulder.
This is a big deal. Now, this is Corey Proctor, who's taking the place of an injured Joe Berger. And Corey Proctor, he was their last resort. Now they'll go to McQuiston, 79.
So the injuries continue to mount for Miami. To the right of your screen, looks like the knee just gave way.
Thursday Night Football is presented by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL. And by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer.
The Freedom Tower, built in 1925, the original home of the Miami News and Metropolitan newspaper, as well as an immigration station for Cuban refugees in the 60s and 70s. Second offensive possession for the Bears here in Miami from their own 39. Matt Forte with the edge. Into Dolphin territory and tripped up by Bell after a gain of 21. Good patient run by Matt Forte.
What a nice job by the left side. They just cave it down. Greg Olson, 82, their tight end. He comes around and just gets a little bit of a push, and then you don't quite understand how fast Matt Forte is until he gets around Jeremiah Bell and he's almost out the gate. That Greg Olson has really developed into a much more complete football player than just a pass catcher.
From the Miami 40, 1st and 10, Chicago. Cutler, Olson, knocked down at the 33 after a gain of 7. Sean Smith on the tackle.
One of the things that we talked with the coaches defensively, specifically Mike Nolan for the Miami Dolphins, he felt like he could handle the run game with his front 7, and his goal, of course, was to turn this Chicago offense into a one-dimensional offense. And if he could do that, then he felt pretty good about where his defense would be.
Mike Nolan was the defensive coordinator in Denver last year. Earl Bennett in motion. Forte. And Paul Joliot makes the tackle after a gain of 1.
Now, there was a case where we talk about Cameron Wake and his 8.5 sacks and chasing down, but also plays a very, very disciplined run support on this particular play. He forces everything back inside. And Matt, you've talked about it. If you're a defensive player, you need to know where your help is coming from. And he sent him right back inside.
And usually that takes time. The first thing you do as a young player, you learn your assignment. The next step is to know where all your help is, and that's where he's at right now.
Saw Devin Hester check in. Chester Taylor in the backfield on a 3rd and 2. Taylor, the former Viking, whistle and flags fly as Cutler doesn't get the play off.
All start. Number 23 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The Bears are lucky. The Bears caught a break there because it would have been 4th down. They probably would have had to have punt. Now they get a chance at another play. They get to correct whatever the problem was up front.
Devin Hester.
You can see him up top, right up there. He must have seen the movement we didn't see. I didn't see that one.
Looks like he flexed his knees a little bit.
Little flexing.
So 3rd and 7 with Hester in motion. Cutler with plenty of time. Johnny Knox, 1st down.
You said it right there. Cutler with plenty of time, and there's a difference. And I think what they've done with this offensive line, with Mike Tice, the offensive line coach, has been very good. They took Williams, they put him to guard from tackle. They put the rookie 73 Webb to the right. And then they put Frank Omeo from the right tackle to the left. And they've solidified themselves the last 2 weeks, and there is a big difference with this offensive line in terms of protection.
Gain of 11, 33rd catch of the season for Knox. 1st down, Chicago. Forte hit by Dansby after a gain of 4. Carlos Dansby in his 7th year out of Auburn, one of the big free agent tickets on the market in the offseason, winds up in Miami. 69 tackles coming into tonight.
The one thing you're noticing from Miami's front 3 is they're getting penetration. They're redirecting the back. It just so happens that the linebackers getting blocked a little bit, and they're picking up 2-3 yards. But they're getting some really good penetration against this rebuilt Chicago offensive line.
Olsen in his fullback as Forte takes the handoff right to the teeth of the defense. And a yard, and that's it. Tony McDaniel on the tackle, 5th-year pro out of Tennessee. Well, you know, Jay Cutler, when he came to Chicago, it came with a lot of fanfare. In the off-season of 2009, Cutler, in his 5th year out of Vanderbilt, wired for Kyle Orton, 2 first-round picks and a 3rd-round pick. They thought they'd have their quarterback wishes and wants solved. It hasn't been as smooth for Chicago to this point.
But it will be.
Orton's playing his rear end off.
3rd and 5. Cutler sacked by Wake. And now the scramble begins at the 30.
It was just pure speed off Jamarcus Webb, the rookie. Cameron Wake is as good as anyone in this league at his explosive 2nd step. He'll get to the edge, and then he has a great burst.
I think Chris Williams recovered the fumble after Wake gets his 9th sack.
Watch this. Get to the edge. Now go. Boom. See that burst? That's what separates him from a lot of pass rushers. He can stay low. He's got great hips and can bend. A big-time play by... Where did he go to school again?
Penn State.
What a heck of a school.
I didn't want to answer.
Robbie Gould from 47. Maynard to hold. And he's got it centered and good. But Cameron Wake got the sack. Chris Williams saves the possession. Jay Cutler sacked for the 31st time. 3-0 Bears. 9.5 sacks for Cameron Wake. Hasn't been an easy road to this point. Coming into the NFL as a free agent with the Giants, spending 2 years in Canada, but a key component on that Miami Dolphin pass rush. Gould with the kickoff. Carroll will take a knee with 3:48 to go in quarter number 1. And Tyler Thigpen and the Dolphins trailing the Bears 3-0. Joe, as a quarterback, you saw that errant throw on the 3rd down where he had Hartline. From your experiences, how long does it take for you to really settle into the game and get your composure down?
This is the series, Bob. The first one, you could see on the handoff, he wasn't even looking to hand off. It was bad execution. The second one, he ran around, made a little bit of play. He should be settled in right now, and Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, knows what he wants him to do.
He needs to settle in and get the ball to Brandon Marshall. That'll settle him down.
Pass batted down at the line and nearly intercepted by Nick Roach. Marcus Harrison got his hand on it, and Roach nearly had the pick.
Standing in the pocket tall, He's getting blocked by a couple different people. That's just hard work by Marcus Harrison.
Well, he's getting blocked by two guys. One's out of position, Incognito, who's now the center, and McQuiston is really the third guard who's in there. Harrison just powered through him.
Second and 10 for Miami. Ronnie Brown, the tailback. Brown fights for 5. Good hard running by Ronnie Brown. Well, much has been said about Bill Parcells. Tomorrow, NFL Network delivers Parcells in his own words in a new documentary. Catch Bill Parcells' Reflections on a Life in Football tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on the NFL Network. It is a must-watch.
Must-watch.
Fantastic.
One of the brightest minds ever to be a part of the National Football League, both as a coach and as a personnel individual.
Bill, of course, moved out of his offices here with the Dolphins a month ago. Big Pen on a 3rd and 5, has the first down out near the 35-yard line. Flag on the play.
Joe, you talked about it at the start of the game, the difference that this quarterback, Thigpen, brings to the offense, and it's his ability to move.
It is, and that time, on a 3rd and 5, he has an opportunity to convert.
During the run of the quarterback, illegal block in the back, number 19 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
This is the 3rd series that the Dolphins have committed some type of a negative play.
Brandon Marshall with the block on Lance Briggs right there.
Yeah, that's a soft block,
and
too.
didn't need to.
Yeah.
But really didn't need to. Tyler Thigpen was so far away, and he was already past where the first down line to gain was. Or as I like to say, the first down line.
Miami Dolphins average just 4 penalties per game, second fewest in the NFL behind the Atlanta Falcons. Part of the trademark of the Tony Sparano team. Take the first down off the board, 3rd and 7. Thigpen underthrows it, and it's intercepted. Charles Tillman dragged down by Bess at the 44.
I believe that one got tipped at the line again. Another ball gets tipped up in the air. He can't get everything on it, and they wind up with the interception.
That's just good disciplined defense by the Chicago Bears.
Tillman's 3rd pick of the year. Bears back in business, up 3.
Sure, make any sport exciting.
Holy smokes, looks like he stuffed himself into that helmet, too.
Taylor remains in the game on a 3rd and 9. Earl Bennett works on Al Harris and has the first down as Dansby makes the tackle after a gain of 13.
That's a case of Jay Cutler understanding the down and distance, what the defense is trying to do. He sees the pressure come off the right side, doesn't even go to the fake. They go out and block it, he gets it outside. Earl Bennett makes a move on Al Harris, and he winds up with the first down.
And what did Jay Cutler tell us yesterday? He said, you know what? The one thing about Earl Bennett, he's reliable. I know he's going to be in the right spot all the time. Both guys played at Vanderbilt. From the Miami 32, 1st and 10, Chicago. Final seconds of the first quarter. Cutler works middle of the field, has another first down on the pass to Johnny Knox, gain of 10.
Hey, guys, now there's something you don't see very much anymore. Quarterbacks backing out. When I played in the system that Mike Martz has here under Joe Gibbs, he allowed us to back out, to see the entire field. With the quickness of Jay Cutler's arm, it's advantageous for him to see everything in front of him, be able to plant and fire and get it out.
He backed out because he was looking off to the flat underneath to draw that safety, which he did perfectly, and then fired the strike.
Cutler gets the snap off before the end of the quarter. Taylor hit, loses a couple. Rashad Jones on the tackle, the rookie out of Georgia. Well, after one on Thursday Night Football, the Chicago Bears with a 3-0 lead over the Miami Dolphins and driving. Tonight's serial coverage is presented by Southwest Airlines. A gorgeous look at Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. Getting set for the start of quarter number 2. The Bears lead the Dolphins 3-0. This drive started at the Miami 46 after a Charles Tillman interception. 3rd and 3 for Cutler in Chicago. Hester in motion. Fastball to the 20, and Hester has a first down. It's a gain of 6.
He looks so smooth. I mean, Jay Cutler just goes back in a comfort zone. One of the things he commented on that struck me with regards, we were talking about the offensive line moving around and everything, Matt, but he said he's very comfortable with Mike Martz's offense. It's just a question of everybody else getting as comfortable as he is.
Details. That's what Mike Martz was stressing to him. It's the details of the position and the offense. And this offense should be learning those details right around now.
Chester Taylor on the carry. Picks up about a yard. Well, the Chicago Bears in the red zone, and sometimes it hasn't been let's go, it's been stopped. Over the last 2 seasons, the most red zone interceptions thrown by Jay Cutler. 8, Brett Favre and Matt Hasselbeck 5.
I'll throw another one at you. Of his 39 touchdown passes, Greg Olsen has caught 12 of them, 9 of them in the red zone. So if you're thinking of some place that he might want to go with the football, and Olsen's at fullback now, shifting out, think about number 82.
Aren't we the Debbie Downers here? Let's throw a wet blanket on Chicago right over.
Oh, he's only thrown 2 this year. 2nd and 9. Brandon Manumaleuna with the catch, but there's a flag on the play back at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that's Cameron Wake. For those of you who have good memories of Penn State.
Like you?
73, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second half.
That's Derek Wake. Derek Wake was at Penn State, and then he wasn't drafted. He went to the New York Giants, and had a cup of coffee down in Baltimore, went up to Canada, and then just found his game. That wasn't necessarily a hold so much as it was just a yank.
We've seen a lot of one arms away and grab them.
This kid right here, right now,
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, this kid right now, this is as good as there is as a speed rusher in this league.
2nd and 19. Screen for Forte. Cut down at the 25 by Channing Crowder. Nice play by Crowder, holding it to a gain of 4.
If you're going to try and block a linebacker high as an offensive lineman, you've got no chance on a screen. You have to at least throw your body enough so that he either has to hurdle you or get out of your way to create a running lane.
Mike Martz loves screens. That's a screening guy right there. Generally, his offenses run screens very well.
And he's so enthusiastic about the upside of this team as they get better and better each week. Cutler. Inside the 20. Near the sticks. And he's got the first down of the 9.
Bobby, that is an element that everyone seems to forget about Jay Cutler. This guy has mobility. He can make you miss. And he's decisive. Watch, he wants to throw it. His eyes are always down. But once he makes a decision, that's a good runner.
Well, he's ran for 144 yards this year. Last week against the Vikings, as an example, critical situations, ran for 24. But that's bad defense because the Dolphins rushed 3 and dropped 8, and they couldn't stop Jay Cutler from picking up 15-plus yards.
10th play of the drive. 1st and goal. Taylor restarts. Bell on the tackle at the 5, along with Vontae Davis after a gain of 4.
You know, I'm going to disagree with you on the bad defense, Joe. When you drop 8 and you're trying to, and especially in the red zone, and everything changes, and you're going to try to defend from deep to shallow, get him throw underneath. And so now when he breaks, he's able to find that lane to the outside.
But Matt, there's no way he should be able to run all the way to the sidelines.
Well, Joe, you don't account for a quarterback running. That's the point of coverage.
2nd and goal from the 5. Taylor can't find a lane. And Tony McDaniel Brings him down for a loss of a yard.
Watch big Tony McDaniel right there, 78. He's working on Manny Maliuna, but he should go out there and help and give Jeremiah Bell a big old hug, because Bell did a great job of turning it back inside, and McDaniel was able to man up and get himself a nice little tackle there.
Now the Bears are going to have to call a timeout. Play wasn't in. Cutler didn't like what he heard, so he'll go talk with Mike Martz. 3rd and goal coming up for the Bears, trying to cash in on the Charles Tillman interception. Up 3-0 in the second.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Sears. Be the Santa you want to be. Find your Santa at Sears.com/Santa. And by National Car Rental. Go national. Go like a pro.
Well, one of the great destination spots in Miami, South Beach, famous for its Art Deco and vibrant nightlife. Joe, I know that's where you're heading after the game.
There are people, there are beautiful people at South Beach.
After the Chicago timeout, 3rd and goal. They've hit all 3 third downs on this drive. Cutler knocked away by Davis, intended for Bennett.
That's big. Vontae Davis was on Randy Moss last week, locked up a lot, did a really great job on him. Now what he'll do here, he'll elevate. Look at him go up and just swat this thing away.
Man. That could have been a pick. That is a fantastic effort.
What a great shot.
I'd like to get his vertical on that one.
Well, Vontae Davis told us yesterday the game's starting to slow down for him. You know, he's getting a better understanding. But he made a great play on Bennett. 24-yard field goal attempt for goal. Maynard to hold, and he gets it down and through, and Chicago pushes the lead to 6. Charles Tillman had the interception. The Bears get 3 in front here in the second in Miami. Jay Cutler leads a 13-play, 40-yard drive. Robbie Gould with a 24-yard field goal. And Chicago in front, 6-0 over Miami with 10:27 to go here in the first half. Gould on the kickoff. Nolan Carroll on the return. Hit at the 25 and knocked down at the 26-yard line by Zachary Bowman. This week on NFL Game Day Morning, get ready for the showdown between the Colts and Patriots. Plus, Steve Sable gives his take on Manning, Brady, the rivalry. NFL Game Day Morning Sunday, 9 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
This is a big drive for the Miami Dolphins. At least they need to get some first downs. Give their defense a chance to catch their breath a little bit before throwing them out there on a hot night in Florida.
Conversely, Chicago has held the ball for 12 minutes and 42 seconds, keeping their defense fresh. Marshall can't catch the slant, nearly intercepted. Lance Briggs had a hand on it.
That Lance, whenever you talk about Chicago, there's 2 guys that pop up right away. One of them is Urlacher, the other one Lance Briggs. When you start talking about linebackers, Lance Briggs, to me, is the most active of all of them. He's got great instincts. He's very decisive, and he's a physical guy. He'll come downhill, and he'll like to stick it. I like that.
Joe, you said this is an important drive for Miami. Brandon Marshall's
got
to hold that ball.
He has to make that catch.
Big Pen, 3 of 7 for 22 yards and a pick. Feeds Marshall again, turns around Tillman, has a first down before he's run out after a gain of 13.
The Chicago Bears will show you a cover 2 shell. They'll play the corners up, safeties back a little bit, and then they'll run back to the middle. They'll go quarter halves. What happens is he slips a little bit. Nice job by Brandon Marshall. That was a makeup for him. Dan Henning gave him another opportunity to be able to make a play.
Now, flag came in late, as we'll check with Bill Levy.
After the play, taunting, number 19 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10 after the enforcement.
He throws it to Jay Cutler, his former teammate in Denver.
That's just downright stupid. It's stupid. It's unprofessional. It's not smart football. Your offense is struggling. You've already dropped the ball, and now you cost them another 15.
And he did the same thing last week, Brandon Marshall did against Tennessee.
You want to be an all-pro, you want to be a star in this league, act like one.
So it's 1st and 10, Miami now from the 25. Even when they get a first down, they go backwards. Hartline with the catch, hit by Harris at the 49. It's a gain of 24.
That was the same throw that was picked off by Tillman earlier. Same coverage, cover 2. He's trying to get on top of this corner and in front of the safety. And so what happens is Hartline's able to get on top because Jennings doesn't redirect him, never gets his hands on him, and he's able to make that throw.
Sweet move in front of Jennings, though, huh?
Really nice.
I mean, nice feet to get up on top.
Hartline in his second year out of Ohio State, a 4th-round draft pick last season. 36 catches this year, including tonight. Ricky Williams will lose 2. For an injury update, we check in with Alex Flanagan.
Hey, Bob. Well, tonight's starting center Corey Proctor for the Dolphins has been in the locker room since he was injured on the Dolphins' second possession in this game. Remember, he's starting in place of Joe Berger, who was inactive in this game. He came off of the field wincing in a lot of pain. They looked to splint his leg almost. They wrapped it all up. They're calling it a knee injury. So right now, Tyler Thigpen, who was the third-string quarterback 5 days ago, is now getting the ball from his guard.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and it rained on the offensive line and the injury bug with Miami in the span of 4 days. Big pen from Marshall, can't reel it in at the 32.
You know, one of the most underrated corners in this league, Tillman. He is a really good player. Why is he good? He's very disciplined. He's an outstanding tackler. He plays the coverage very, very well. And like the coaches told us yesterday, Lovie Smith said, I have no idea how he gets the ball out of ball carriers. He said, it's so impressive. We studied ourselves. We still can't figure it out.
Miami's 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. This will be their 3rd attempt of 9 or more yards. Thigpen can't run away from Henry Melton after a gain of 6.
That's not bad. It's not bad. Your defense has done a fine job putting them in bad situations. If you don't have some place to go, make a play, let them punt. Remember, punting is not a bad thing to do.
Well, there was no place to go with this ball down the field, Joe.
He didn't want to go in the flat, and he pulled it down and wound up. Now you're in a situation where you have to kick to a sideline to keep it away from Devin Hester. Too dangerous.
Fields pinned Hester on his first punt at the 12. Hester, fair catch late at the 6. So it's a 42-yard punt and no return. We're in Miami. Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. Bears lead the Dolphins 6-0 in the second.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by GMC. Enter the Never Say Never sweepstakes for a chance to win a GMC Sierra Denali at gmc.com/NFL. And by Applebee's. Try Applebee's new flavor-loaded steaks. Come see what's cooking today.
Back in Miami, the Bears with a 6-0 lead. 2 touchdowns on drives starting at or inside their own 20-yard line. This is the second time tonight that they're starting inside their own 20. Their first possession started at the 12. This time Jay Cutler and company from their own 6. Forte, the running back, as Cutler will throw to Matt Forte. Gets past Vontae Davis and picks up 4 on the play. Well, Jay Cutler has been able to manage diabetes for more. We sent it to Alex Flanagan.
He sure has, Bob. He was diagnosed with a disease about 3 years ago, and coming into Miami knowing that it's going to be a little bit more humid and hot down here, he really has to pay attention to his insulin levels. After the first series of this game, he went over to the sidelines, checked his levels. They were good. You'll see him doing that throughout the night, but I think that's the key, is he's really learned how to manage it as a pro playing with diabetes.
2nd and 6. Forte gets a yard. The other thing is he has to manage his diet very closely, including his pregame meal. No carbs, protein, a lot of vegetables, and only water during the game. Not any kind of sugary drinks.
I watched Matt manage his diet last week. It was the biggest burger I've ever seen in my life. You managed to get it down in a very short period of time.
I'm good at managing
yes,
it that
you are
way.
managing that
Very
way.
good.
Third and 5 from the Chicago 11. Cutler with a deep drop. Has it underneath. Devin Hester, first down. Benny Sapp chasing in the coverage, but it's a gain of 15.
Remember, there are routes that take a lot of time, and crossing routes are one of them. And when you need time to develop the route, you have to be able to have the time to throw it. And again, nice protection by Cutler. Nobody around him. He can step and throw. Hester gets it in stride.
And you don't have to use speed up the field. That time you saw them use it laterally and run away from Bell.
Now we get a whistle and a timeout taken by Tony Sperano and the Dolphins. Cutler wiggles out of another third down. Bears by 6.
The Go Board. Information you need, freedom to get going. At a value that's simply refreshing. Courtyard. It's a new stay.
To thank you for making Pizza Hut your favorite pizza, we're offering 2 mediums with up to 3 toppings for just $6 each. This offer only lasts 10 days, ending November 20th, so don't miss out. 2 medium pizzas, only $6 each, ending November 20th, and only at your Pizza Hut.
You know, I'll have a light beer, too.
Sure. Regular bottle or Miller Lite Vortex bottle?
Regular. I don't see what's so special about that one.
Well, it's got grooves. Maybe if you weren't wearing sunglasses in a dimly lit bar, you'd see that.
Just came from outside.
It's midnight.
Man up and choose the Vortex bottle. Its specially designed grooves let that great Pilsner taste flow right out.
Got a Vortex bottle.
And they're playing your song.
It's not my song.
Yeah, sometimes I worry.
Sometimes I worry. What if something bad happens? So what happens if someone gets my credit or debit card and buys a ton of stuff?
That would be really, really bad.
With Bank of America's Zero Liability Guarantee, you're not responsible for any fraudulent charges on your card.
Guaranteed.
Bank of America says they'll credit any fraudulent charges back to my account as soon as the next day.
The next day.
That makes me feel better about using these cards. They got my back.
They got my back.
The opportunity to worry less about fraud with the Zero Liability Guarantee from Bank of America.
Thursday Night Football. T.O. and the Bengals, LT and the Jets. Your weekend starts here. Thursday Night Football, Thanksgiving at 8, live on NFL Network.
Chicago Bears with a 6-0 lead here in the second quarter as Jay Cutler, Matt, converts on another third down.
4 and 5 in the last, but you know, watching Jay Cutler play, it's really important. We get back to the diabetic part of it, but watching him managing himself is so important.
Blitz on. Cutler gets hit. And the pass ruled incomplete.
You're going to watch outside linebacker Kaika Lama-Francis just comes clean. Comes clean, gets a hit. Cutler tries to throw the ball. I think the crowd doesn't like that his arm was hit. The crowd thinks that he was trying to intentionally ground it, but Kaika Lama-Francis hit his arm as he took him to the ground.
That was a screen that was set up, but you have to be able to buy a little bit of time for the quarterback to allow the screen to develop.
Kaika Lama-Francis, third-year player out of Hawaii. Cutler finds some time. He'll run it again. Puts his shoulder down. Hits Kendall Langford and Channing Crowder and picks up 5.
One of the things that Jay Cutler told us last night about managing his diabetes was the adrenaline and how that affects the insulin levels. And I think it's important to note that I lost a brother to diabetes. And at that time, managing diabetes was a big deal. And it still is a big deal, but I think it's so much more prevalent now. You can go out, play sports, For people who have the disease, it's important to see guys like Cutler, who at a high level can manage it and play well and still live a normal life.
Very diligent with his medications. Johnny Knox on a 3rd and 4 has a first down and a gain of 12.
Well, what's been phenomenal here tonight, Joe? He's been hot as a firecracker on 3rd down.
It's the same route that he threw to Devin Hester in the last series when they got the last field goal. It's just a quick slant outside. Miami brings pressure in his face, and by backing out, it's not a problem to see where the pressure's coming from. And then that quick flick of the wrist that he has, ball's out, completion, first down.
Kept the 3rd down manageable. This time on a 1st and 10, Greg Olsen picks up about 11 into Miami territory. Gain of 11. Well, you take a look at the Chicago Bears. We've talked about the quarterbacks. They've had a dearth of big play wide receivers. In fact, a running back, Walter Payton, is the franchise's all-time leading receiver. And now they have a group of young players like Johnny Knox and Earl Bennett, and they use Devin Hester as a guy to make big plays for this offense.
But they still don't have the big man. They still don't have a big man receiver.
From the Miami 46, Matt Forte skips inside the 40 and picks up 11 more.
Matt, what you're talking about, they don't have a big-time receiver, and I think that's good for this offense. Jay Cutler got so mesmerized with Brandon Marshall when he was in Detroit, or in Denver, he threw the ball to him no matter what the circumstances are. Now, in this offense, without that big-time guy, he spreads the ball around. I mean, Knox had 32 coming in, Hester 24, Olsen 24, Forte 30. It's very difficult to defend an offense when you're spreading it around to a lot of different people.
I can't speak to what happened in Denver, but I know Mike Martz's offense, and Mike Martz will force you to throw it to everybody.
Chester Taylor slips and picks up 1. Well, it was a very good combination in Denver, with Jay Cutler throwing to Brandon Marshall. Explosive plays downfield. 14 touchdown passes they combined for in Denver, plus Cutler had Eddie Royal and even Brandon Stokely.
Had one game where he had, what, 18 catches, I think, with Jay.
Both guys wanted out of Denver, and they're both out. One in Miami and one in Chicago.
You know, we should change this to 2-12 because in the first quarter, he threw one right back to him.
That's right. Good point. But it was a penalty.
But it was from Brandon to Jay.
Maybe we should erase one. 2-10.
Bears are driving again at the 2-minute warning. Up 6 in Miami.
Rich Eisen here on the turf, getting you set for the Sprint halftime show. Bill Parcells, Reflections on a Life in Football. We'll preview that documentary premiering tomorrow night and also get you set for the second half. Back to you, Bob.
All right, Rich, looking forward to it. At the 2-minute warning, Chicago driving again, running their 21st play here in the first half in Miami territory, but they only have 6 points to show for it. Flag on the play as Cutler's pass is incomplete, intended for Olsen.
That's going to be Webb again, and Cameron Wake just blew right by him.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
They're going to have to chip somebody to that side or put a tight end there to slow him down, which they did. It was a tight end there. It still didn't matter. See how he dips his hips and he gains leverage.
And Webb just doesn't move his feet. If those feet get in cement, he's got no chance with Cameron's athletic ability. He's a great natural athlete.
Wake told us when he first got to Penn State, he weighed only 200 pounds. And now here I am in the NFL sacking quarterbacks.
And weighing 250.
Cutler on the play action. Underthrows it. Intercepted by Benny Sapp.
He was trying to hit Knox. Completely underthrew it. Sapp looked like the intended receiver.
That's too easy. In the open match, you said, which Jay Cutler do we see? most of this half, we saw the good Jay Cutler. Now, this is just a bad throw. Benny Sapp's just sitting out there. I don't think Johnny Knox would have had the opportunity to get back to the ball anyway. The question is it'll probably go upstairs to the booth for review.
Now, he has control. His arms are not under. He has control, but it does hit the ground.
Which would make it an incomplete pass, or an
Question
incomplete reception.
Does it move, or does he maintain control throughout the entire process of the catch? And now we'll get the booth review with 1:46.
Is under review.
Left. So Bill Levy will go to the replay machine and take a look. As Jay Cutler thrown his 10th pick of the season, we'll take another look right here.
Watch where the ball goes. The ball is on the ground. Does it move at all as he tries to gain possession?
This is the Burt Emanuel rule, right?
The Tampa Bay Bucks
in the championship game against the Rams. And Burt Emanuel had control of the ball, but it hit the ground and
it didn't move.
And it didn't look like it moved here.
No.
And since that time, they changed the rules that if you had control of the ball, even though it hits, that they would give you the interception.
Take a look at it right here. It's in his chest.
No question it's on the ground.
Forearm.
No question it hits the ground.
But his arms are still wrapped around it, and it didn't move inside the arm.
And you can't see if it does move after he makes the turn.
Take another look right here. So he has the ball between his forearms, maintains control. It hits the ground. Now, if it moves at any point here, it would be incomplete. But look, the ball does not appear to move at all as he rolls to his back.
Doesn't look like there's any movement, but lost
it
all that.
Is it an interception or not?
Yes.
See, to me, I think that's a pick.
We have a consensus.
And if you listen, do you hear that? Burt Emanuel said it was a pick too.
Benny Sapp was acquired in a trade.
I did hear
from Minnesota for Greg Camarillo earlier this season.
When you look in the secondary of the Miami Dolphins, you have a lot of guys that are really young, and you got Benny Sapp and Al Harris that have got a little veteranship to them.
Well, Benny Sapp a week ago played a phenomenal game.
After reviewing the play, the defender did control the ball between his arms. It did not move when it hit the ground. Therefore, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
And all the Tampa Bay fans said, why wasn't that rule in when Emmanuel caught it? But that's the right call. They changed the rule after that play, and a nicely done job by the official.
The Bears are doing enough in this game to keep the Dolphins alive and in it. And 9 times out of 10, that'll come back and bite you.
Cutler's road woes continue. So the Bears turn it over. Thigpen to work. Brandon Marshall with a first down to the 48-yard line of Chicago. Gain of 19.
We said earlier that if he wants to get comfortable, now Brandon Marshall's coming up limping a little bit, he had to find Marshall.
And he's got to get off the field or else you're going to lose the timeout.
It's a hamstring. It either cramped or something happened to him.
Well, you know what? This talks about having great awareness of the situation. And one of the greatest situations I ever saw was our own Marshall Faulk pulling his receiver down, knowing he'd lose a timeout.
Back in Miami, get live online audio of every NFL game with NFL Audio Pass. So the midseason special offer available now at NFL.com/Audio Pass. Brandon Marshall being helped off after an injury to his right leg as he made the catch over the middle and made a move on Lance Briggs. Marshall had to be helped off as he planted that left leg on the spin. So Miami gets charged the timeout with 1:25 to go in the half. Low snap. Thigpen hit and dropped from behind by Julius Peppers.
This is where you need to be smarter. Just throw the ball away. It's 1st and 10. I mean, you've got a new center. You want to just make everybody calm. Everybody settle down. You get away, There's nowhere to go with the football. Throw it away. Fasano's not open. Throw it away.
It ends a 5-game drought for sacks for Peppers, and then Thigpen's pass incomplete, intended for Patrick Cobbs. Stops the clock with 57 seconds to go in the half.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Bears are coming off the edges hard right now. Israel Adonijah on that last one, and Julius Peppers, they got great pressure up the field and forced him to have to step up. But he still had time. Thigpen had time to be able to manage the pocket and make a better throw.
Only one touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the first half this season. Miami faces another 3rd and long. This is their 4th third down attempt of 9 or more yards. They're 0 for 3. Throws it behind Ricky Williams, and it's intercepted. Lance Briggs. 3rd pick, or was it?
No. See the difference in this one as opposed to the last one? He did not have control when the ball hit the ground. It moved up inside his arms. They'll pull this one out. To me, this is an interception.
It still doesn't make up for the fact that Tyler Thigpen throws this ball long before Ricky Williams is ever really ready to have an opportunity to make a play on it.
Williams' play is under review.
Williams never even got his head around to look at it.
It's like he wasn't sure he was going to get the football. I mean, if you're running a route in a 2-minute drill, if you're a back, tight end, wide receiver, it doesn't matter. You've got to be in the play. I think the consensus once again is this is not an interception. Bob?
I don't think it is either, because Briggs makes an attempt to catch the ball and it goes through his hands and then it hits the ground. It's different than Benny Sapp, because Benny Sapp controlled it at first before it hit the ground.
Watch the point. When the point hits the ground, as
it's still moving there, Bob.
Now it slides back up.
He doesn't have control like we saw. Sapp had put the clamp on it. Briggs wasn't able to get control of the ball before it hit.
Because when he first contacts the ball, he does not get control. It goes through and hits the ground. So I think this interception will be overturned under the booth review.
Matt, you know, the Bears don't do a whole lot defensively. They line up with 4 guys, 3 linebackers, 2 corners, and a safety, but they play it so well.
See this guy right here? That guy right there is one of the best coaches I have ever been around. That's Rod Marinelli. He's the defensive coordinator. Why is he so good? He is a phenomenal teacher. He makes sure everybody knows exactly what they do, learns how they learn, and then teaches it to each individual. He's a stud in terms of coaching his coaches.
And you had him as your head coach in Detroit with the Lions.
That's David Lee, the quarterback coach for the Miami Dolphins. Sitting there on your left is Chad Henne. Patrick Ramsey taking in a lot of the conversation. Ronnie Brown may as well go over, because you never know the way things work out.
We talked about Ricky Williams and that not getting his head around, and that's a big deal.
After reviewing the play, the ball went between the defender's arms. It is an incomplete pass. With the timer put 53 seconds on the game clock, it'll be 4th down.
Lance Briggs wasn't real happy with that call, but it was
like
the right call.
And that's where he lost control.
I want you to watch Ricky Williams coming out of the backfield here. He's going to sit down. His head went the wrong way. Didn't get around it quick enough. And, of course, it wasn't an interception.
I don't think he ever expected the ball. He certainly didn't expect the ball to come out that quick.
And Brandon Marshall has a hamstring injury. His return is questionable. So Devin Hester.
This goes one of 2 places. Out of bounds left or out of bounds right. I wouldn't even take a chance on one of the pooch punts.
He's had 1 return for 24 yards. 9 punt returns in his career for touchdowns.
Or right down the middle. That's the other point.
But a fair catch for the 3rd time called by Hester. 36-yard punt. Tough first half for Tyler Thigpen. Under pressure from Henry Melton. Takes a sack. The ball was tipped by Julius Peppers. Charles Tillman with the pick. Under pressure again. Julius Peppers says, I'll take that sack. And then Ricky Williams turns right. He throws it left. Joe, we're just seeing the residuals of a guy that only had 4 days.
No, Tyler Thigpen has got to settle down. I mean, he is running 1,000 miles an hour. He needs to take a deep breath at halftime and just relax.
Bears will run it with Matt Forte, and he picks up 9 with 40 seconds to go.
Hey, the other part of that equation is the Bears are playing good defense. This is no slouch they're playing against here.
No, I understand they're playing good defense, but Matt, on 1st and 10, he could have thrown the ball away. That was one of the mistakes he made. On the fumble in the first series, he never even looked the ball in to try and make the handoff. I mean, he's fundamentally not doing simple things that this position requires at any level.
The Bears are in no hurry. Remember, they won the coin toss and deferred to the second half, so they'll get the football to start the third. Cutler tries a pass to Johnny Knox. And incomplete.
That was a little bit of an okey-doke right there.
That was an okey-don't.
No, it looked like they were going to try to hand it off.
I go back to
then he bang was going to try to hit Knox on that slant to try to split the safety.
I go back to the Redskin-Dallas game in the beginning of the year. At the end of the half, Tony Romo swings the ball out. There's a fumble, run back for a touchdown. You lose the football game because you're goofing around at the end of the half.
Did you ever have a problem with the first half of a game to throwing something like
just at the end of the half when I threw an interception in a Super Bowl?
Oh, you're kidding.
And you were on the other side of the line.
Yeah.
So nice of you to bring it up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Julius Peppers has a sack. You two can continue that at halftime. Jay Cutler and the Bears in front 6-0. Stick around for the Sprint halftime show with Rich Eisen, Marshall Falk, Deion Sanders, and Steve Mariucci from Miami, Florida. Week 11 of the NFL season begins right here, Thursday Night Football.
Friday on NFL Total Access, we'll fire up Eagles Cam for Jeremy Maclin as he gets set to take on the Giants in Philadelphia on Sunday night. Rod Woodson, Mr. Steely McBeam, talking about the Oakland Raiders, who Rod played a couple seasons with as well, and that rivalry between the Patriots and Colts renewed in Foxborough. Here we are on the Sprint halftime show. Deion Sanders, Jay Cutler has been money on the money down, third down, but the Bears are only up 6-0. What do you make of this?
He's been playing well. They've been executing on third downs. I love the balance Mike Morris is having between run and pass, but the one bonehead play, it makes you just want to say, Jay, come on, man, because he's having ultimately a good game thus far.
And that's Jake. He was terrific on third downs. He ran for some first downs. He ran this offense very well. I didn't know on that last play if he didn't see the underneath coverage or if he was trying to throw the ball away, but that was a big mistake. But again, the defense bailed him out.
What I like is that Mike Morris has him throwing the ball outside the hashes. They're not throwing the ball in the interior of the football field because they want Jay Cutler to make his mistake on the outside.
In the meantime, Tyler Thigpen and then offense shutout Marshall. It looks like Brandon Marshall may not be available for the second half. He's questionable with the hamstring. What do the Dolphins have to do here?
Well, first of all, they got to try to run the football a little bit better. And then off of play action, that's when we've noticed Tyler to have his success. Off of play action. Anytime they spread him out and ask him to drop back and make plays, he's struggling with that.
Yeah, this is an unusual game in that the third quarterback is playing with the third center. Richie Incognito now is having to play center because Corey Proctor got hurt, and then when Brandon Marshall gets hurt, boy, they're going to have to get a break, a takeaway, something on a short field to get this game back in style.
I know what you guys are saying, but this Chicago Bears defense, they're straight out balling. Fourth-ranked defense in the NFL. They're playing ball.
Well, the fireworks that you heard going off behind us was to celebrate. I guess everybody's having a Ring of Honor at halftime of Thursday Night Football. The Dolphins Ring of Honor, Don Shula welcoming Jake Scott and Bill Stanfill into the Ring of Honor here in Miami. The second half coming up.
Thank you for watching the Sprint Halftime Show. This is Football Now, only from Sprint, only on the Now Network.
All I want is all football all the time.
Tonight, two teams fight to overcome themselves and each other.
Underthrows it, and it's intercepted. Charles Tillman.
Tonight, the stakes are simple. Keep your season alive.
Back in Miami at the half, the Bears lead the Dolphins by a 6-0 score. And when you take a look at this first half, guys, 19 minutes and 11 seconds for Chicago. They've had the ball. They've run 35 offensive plays to Miami's 22, but they only lead 6-0. Joe, let's take a look at the quarterback comparison between Jay Cutler and Tyler Thigpen.
And the numbers do not tell the true story. Tyler Thigpen has not played well at all. Jay Cutler has done a nice job managing the game, except for the one interception. You see 90 yards and 78 yards. That's not the story at all. Tyler Thigpen has to settle down and relax a lot more, and Jay Cutler has to be able to continue to pick and choose where he wants to get down the field.
Corey Proctor started at center for Miami. He got hurt. Richie Incognito then had to go to center. Matt, Tyler Thigpen also needs some help, and he didn't get a lot from Brandon Marshall.
Well, we said in the first quarter that Brandon Marshall is one of those guys you're going to have to look for, and then when he did, he was a disappointment. And you know, he dropped a couple balls early, and then, in fact, that one there, that should have been a big play, and he didn't. And then when he did catch one, he flipped it back to his ex-teammate and got himself a penalty, took it back. And then when he started to make some plays, he got hurt. This is a talented receiver as there is in this game, but right now, they're not going to have his use of his services.
All right, let's check in with Alex Flanagan. Alex?
Hey, Bob, well, I spoke to Lovie Smith at the half. He said his defense is doing exactly what they set out to do, stop the run and put the game in Tyler Thigpen's hands. Offensively, he said exactly what Joe said, that Jay Cutler's pick, he said he just cannot make that throw, but otherwise he feels like he has really been in pretty good control of the game so far, Bob.
All right, Alex, we'll see if Miami can muster some type of offense as Devin Hester awaits the kickoff. Fielded by Rasheed Davis, spin down at the 30-yard line after a return of 10. So they kept it away from Hester. They've done a good job in the kicking game, keeping it away from Hester. Jake Cutler so far in this football game, you know, the interception obviously was big. 10 of 16, 90 yards. He was hitting his third downs. But a lot of offensive plays running Miami's end, and only 6 points. It's a one-possession game for Lovie Smith and the Bears.
It is, Bob, and I said, you leave a team that's struggling and a quarterback that's cold in a game long enough, Tyler Thigpen could finally catch fire back here. They could put some drives together, and all of a sudden you're going to wind up with a 60-minute game. You're going to lose it at the end with a field goal. The Bears have a chance to put some distance on the scoreboard now.
Forte, the tailback. Cutler on a play fake. Gorgeous fake. Has his man. Johnny Knox. First down. Gain of 16.
Well, this is just a well-designed play. And Cutler's able to find Knox sitting down in the hole. Now you're going to watch Knox run all the way across. And the whole key to this is to sit down. It's a zone. But quarterback and receiver have to be on the same page. Anticipate the hole. Find the hole by the receiver.
Knox 4 catches, 48 yards. They'll run it with Forte. Gains the edge and dragged down by Wake, but not after he gains nearly 10.
Oh, he does such a sweet job of sidestepping Sean Smith, number 24 of the Dolphins. Comes up in pursuit, just like he's supposed to, and you think he's going to go down, Forte's going to go down, and all of a sudden, he's gone by him. Look at this move. Playing outside, throw your body down, and absolutely stone-cold miss him.
Well, let me just tell you, that is a pathetic job of tackling by Sean Smith.
Gain of 9, second and short. Forte with a first down inside the 40 to the 38. Gain of 7.
Now, this is where I think Chris Williams has gotten better and will continue to get better. They moved him from tackle to guard. You're going to see him right here, number 74. And he has good movement for a big man. This time he just comes right back up inside. Now, he doesn't hit anybody, but what he does do is clear the way for Forte to follow him through.
Is that what you call creating a lane?
Yes.
With big body?
You are the lane.
They'll feed Forte again. Cameron Wake with the tackle and a loss of 2.
This kid's been a beast all night long. I mean, they've asked him to rush the passer, he's done that. They've asked him in the run game to be a factor, he's done that. Watch Cameron Wake at the top. This is just taking on and forcing your runner back inside. So you're taking something away and let your buddies inside come down there. And then when it comes time to rush the passer, this burst right there. Sink your hips, get underneath, get leverage, and then that burst is what gets you the sack.
He has a sack, and he's also forced 2 offensive holding penalties. Cutler nearly intercepted at the 20-yard line by Carlos Dansby.
Carlos Dansby has this one on the run, turning, and he still should be running. Jay Cutler feels like his arm can force it into a window. Obviously, Carlos Dansby was never in his life a receiver. Goes right off his hand.
Carlos Dansby is one of the best pass defenders for linebackers in the NFL. He has a great feel for getting depth and reading routes and also getting a feel for quarterback size. That's as good, I think, as there is in this league.
Not catching the ball.
He's got to work on that part.
That part.
Bears have hit 2 of 3 third down attempts of 9 or more yards. 3rd and 12. Cutler buys time with his legs, will not get to the sticks as the defense pursued. Tony McDaniel was chasing.
I'll be interested to see what they do right here, if they're going to kick it or go for it, because their defense has been playing well. He's going to try a field goal.
Robbie Gould comes out as Cutler can't convert. Lovie Smith trying to push the lead to 9.
This is a good job by Cutler of getting good enough yardage to be able to try a 50-yard kick, which is well within the range of Gould.
Well, he's 1 for 2 from this distance, but he's only 3 for 6 from 49, so it's not a lot.
Gould from 50, Maynard to hold. Good snap, plenty of leg, and he drills it.
Where did Gould go to school again?
Here we go again. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Penn State.
Thank you.
I knew he'd kick it through.
So Gould connects on his 3rd field goal, this time from 50. And the Chicago Bears get 3 to start the 3rd, leading the Dolphins in Miami 9-0.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback.
Robbie Gould with his 3rd field goal of the night, capping off a 7-play, 38-yard drive, this time from 50. His 4th 50-yarder of his career, and the Bears in front 9-0. Nolan Carroll thought about bringing it out, but then takes a knee, and Miami will start at their own 20-yard line. Well, the Miami Dolphins have been looking for that quarterback since the retirement of Dan Marino. Jay Fiedler, Damon Heward, Ray Lucas, Brian Griese, the son of Hall of Famer Bob Griese. They worked through A.J. Feely, Sage Rosenfels, Gus Frerotte, Joey Harrington, Cleo Lemon, Trenton Creed, John Beck, Dante Culpepper, then Chad Pennington, Chad Henne, and now Tyler Thigpen. 15 starting quarterbacks since 2000. Thigpen, Hartline, 1st down. Nearly ran out of the tackle of Tillman. Harris finished it up, gain of 16.
He's had that a few times tonight. There's his coach right there. We were talking to Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator, and he said Chad Pennington is invaluable. They said he had this bad shoulder, so he was telling the guys what to do. Chad Henne had the good arm. He was writing it down, and they both were coaching Thigpen and the young quarterback.
And Ramsey.
Yeah.
Patrick Ramsey, who was signed on Monday. Ronnie Brown picks up 2. Julius Peppers on the tackle. You know, the other thing about it was Tony Sperano had Chad Pennington in his office on Monday talking about, you know, take some time and reevaluate what you want to do with your career, talk with your family, because he's had these persistent shoulder injuries. And they had a little cry together, and they had a long visit. And then Chad looked up and said, I think you probably need to be downstairs, right? And Tony said, yeah, I do. We got Ramsey coming in. You got to coach him up, because we have to coach up Tyler Thigpen. 2nd and 8, low snap from Incognito. Thigpen stumbles to the 40 and picks up 3. As we check in with Alex.
Bob, I got to talk to Chad Pennington in the pregame, and he said about his shoulder injury to me, you know, there's only so many times you can hurt your shoulder. Maybe there's a message being sent to me. He hasn't decided yet what he's going to do in terms of his future. He is going to take a little time. Of course, coaching might be an option for him, but Bob, I'm trying to talk him into maybe the TV route.
That is an excellent coaching and waiting right there.
Of course you want him to coach. You don't want him in TV.
Oh, he could. If I could do it, anybody could do it. But this is a really good coach. Got to be a good coach.
3rd and 5. Adonijay with the pressure, and he gets the sack. Loss of 13.
Vernon Carey did not stand a chance against Adonijay. He just comes hard off the edge. Thigpen has it flash in his face. He tries to get outside, and he stumbles trying to get outside. Just comes around, doesn't get out, goes for his legs, can't make it. Tyler's trying to make something happen. He's actually done a very good job fielding some of the snaps.
Brandon Fields with a high, short punt. Hester slides down at the 39. 34-yard punt, no return. Israel Adonijay with his 6th sack of the season. Bears have the ball, up 9. Back in Miami, Chicago will start 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Jay Cutler and the Bears with a 9-0 lead, 9:23 to go in the 3rd. Cutler 11 of 18 for 106 yards and 1 catch. Forte picks up 9 on the play. Good block by Earl Bennett. You know, we talked about Miami and their search for the replacement for Dan Marino and their 15 quarterbacks in the last 10 years. Well, the Chicago Bears have been looking as well. Cade McNown, Jim Miller, Shane Matthews, Henry Burris, Chris Chandler, 03 and 04, Cordell Stewart, Rex Grossman, who did take them to a Super Bowl, Jonathan Quinn, Greg Krenzel, now Kyle Orton, Brian Greasy, Todd Collins, and now Jay Cutler. They made the big trade to solve that question that they've had at that position for over a decade. 1st down, run by Forte as he moves the chains with 8.5 to go in the 3rd.
This is a position on the field where Mike Martz is willing to take a shot. They know that the Dolphins offensively haven't been able to threaten. You had a shot at Devin Hester earlier in the game. It was underthrown. He missed the opportunity for the touchdown. Here would be another where you go a little bit of play action, take your shot down the field, and let the guys outside, Johnny Knox and Devin Hester, go get it.
Hester to the top of the screen. They'll run it instead with Forte. Bounces it outside and tripped up at the 40-yard line by Randy Starks, gain of 9.
You know, Matt Forte burst onto the scene his rookie year, and then his numbers went down a year ago. But I got to tell you, this guy is one of the most deceiving runners in this league. He's a lot faster than people think. He's got good strength, and he has a little bit of a make-you-miss in him.
And he's big. We see a lot of 5'9", 5'10" guys. He's 6'2". He's got some size to him.
Mike Martz told us he's a one-cut-and-go guy, and he's a lot faster than people think he is. Second and short. They're running on the inside with Chester Taylor. And he's near the 1st down marker at the 39. Koamisi on the tackle.
You know, we showed the quarterback carousel that has been in Chicago. And one of the things that Jay talked about in regards to Mike Martz and this offense is that this offense will get you out of old habits. And the old habits that Jay Cutler had was focusing on one guy, forcing the ball in, or just trying to force somewhere with the football. Now, like we talked about, it's all over the place.
Well, the thing with Jay, though, because he has such a big arm and because he has such great confidence in his ability to make those throws, he's always going to take chances. I don't think you'll ever erase that part of it.
And you don't want to.
No, you don't, because it'll make a big play for you, and then every now and then, it'll bite you in the rear end.
Last week, he threw a great touchdown pass to Greg Olsen. 3 Vikings right around him. Most guys would not have even attempted to throw the ball in. He winds up with the throw. But he's just got to be a little bit more judicious with where he wants to go with it.
After the measurement, Taylor inches short. Just inside the Miami 40. Give it off for Taylor, and he has the 1st down for Chicago. This week on NFL Game Day Morning, get ready for the showdown between the Colts and Patriots. Steve Sabol gives his take on the Manning-Brady rivalry. NFL Game Day Morning, Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, only on NFL Network.
You know, the last bastion of tough guy football is short yardage and goal line, because the game has changed so much with the rules and the outside zones and the reads, and it's gotten a little bit more finessey inside, but short yardage and goal line still is tough guy football.
Chicago's just chewing up the clock. 1st and 10. Taylor gets hit by Vontae Davis. No gain on the play.
So Vontae Davis comes in, who's a corner, which tells you Mike Nolan's being a little aggressive down here. He's sending his corners in. He dropped in. He sapped down earlier. You saw Jeremiah Bell, the safety, come down. So he's taking some shots. He knows, hey, they're playing good defense now. They haven't given up 6 points, and they've been really stingy. Right down there is Mike Nolan, their defensive coordinator.
And Mike Martz is, you talk about Mike Nolan taking shots. Mike Martz is not opposed to taking his shots either.
He is as good a feel play caller that I've ever seen.
48th offensive play coming up for Chicago. To 26th for Miami. Cutler nearly intercepted by Sean Smith. He dropped it as a flag comes in the secondary.
He waited too long on that one. Sean Smith did a nice job of coming back on it.
Pass, illegal contact, number 27 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Benny Sapp called for the penalty.
What happens on the backside is there's the bump right there. He grabs him. But on the backside, you have no underneath control at all to hold Sean Smith. So he just goes in, tries to make the interception on Johnny in front of Johnny Knox, and it would have been an easy pick. And once again, Jay Cutler dodges a bit of a bullet.
You know, that was a really well-run route by Earl Bennett. In the middle of that route, he just changed his speed, and that's what drew the penalty.
4th penalty accepted against Miami. Cutler to throw again. To the sideline. Olsen with a great catch. And it's good for 12.
That's a phenomenal catch by Greg Olsen, the University of Miami product out of Wayne, New Jersey. Look at him go down here. That's as good as it gets.
And but look at where the ball is placed.
Really well thrown.
I mean, Jeremiah Bell is right there, and Olsen does a good job of controlling the ball as he goes out of bounds.
And then he shows it to the official.
What great ball placement.
31st overall player taken in the 2007 draft. 1st and 10, Chicago eating up the 3rd quarter with a 9-0 lead. Cutler for Olsen. Bell on the coverage.
Greg Olsen has become Jay Cutler's safety blanket. If he gets in trouble down around in the red zone, the goal line, he's going to look for him. He wants to hit him real quick. Dansby doesn't let it happen. Bell picks him up going down the field, but he just, once again, he was staying with him all the way.
Jeremiah Bell, the 7th-year pro out of Eastern Kentucky, 6th-round pick in 2003. Forte in a tailback for Chicago on a 2nd and 10 for the Miami 21. And a draw for Forte, and he picks up about 2. Randy Starks stayed home on it. You know, you look at the Chicago Bears approach here, and they're just wearing down this Miami defense.
The defense has been out, I mean, you know, at 19 to 11 in the first half, Bob, minutes. Their defense, Miami's defense, has not left the field. We talked about their offense giving them some kind of help. It hasn't happened.
They're going to take a timeout here, Chicago.
With 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, the Bears threatening a 9-point lead for Jay Cutler and Chicago. Chicago Bears, with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd, face a 3rd and 7. 50 offensive plays for Chicago. They've controlled the time of possession. 2 for 4 between 5 and 8 yards on third down attempts. Olsen makes it 3 for 5, a first down in Chicago.
That is a great job of receiver and quarterback being on the same page in the hot. He thinks he's going to get pressure. You throw to the vacated area. It happens right away, and he has the wherewithal to be able to get that first down.
Plus, it's an easy throw because he gets it out before the linebacker can get over and cover Dansby.
First and goal, Chicago. From the 8. Forte takes it to the 6. Channing Crowder on the tackle after a gain of 2.
This Miami defense now has been on the field for a long time.
Well, time of possession, 28 minutes and 35 seconds. And Chicago's had it almost this entire quarter. Some of that has to do with the ineptness of Miami's offense.
No, it has to do with the ineptness of Tyler Thigpen, Bob. He has not played the position of quarterback in a way that has allowed their team to at least pick up a first down.
They've abandoned the run game too, which is surprising.
Run blitz on a second and goal. Forte pinballs his way down to the 2. Jeremiah Bell from the safety spot made the tackle after a gain of 4.
Jeremiah Bell has been an active guy here tonight. They like to bring him with blitzes. He's good down around the line of scrimmage. He's a good, solid tackler. Made some plays in the pass game.
Can Miami keep them out of the end zone again? Chicago's had to settle for 3 field goals. Third and goal from the 2.
Throw the fade up top to Johnny Knox.
Or give to Forte. Touchdown, Chicago.
Still would have been a touchdown.
Good execution. You mentioned it earlier, Bob, that the offensive line for Chicago was starting to wear on that defensive front. And this is where it's paid off. Again, short yardage, goal line, tough guy football. And there is, look at this. This is a beautiful lane to run through.
Frank Omiyale with the great block on the edge. Chris Williams had nobody to block.
Again.
Gold's extra point is good. A time-consuming, wearing drive capped off by a Matt Forte touchdown run. Bears in control, up 16. Tonight's aerial coverage is being presented by Southwest Airlines. Get a look at Sun Life Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. The Chicago Bears. Greg Olsen with a 16-0 lead over Miami. They cap off a grueling 60-yard drive and finish with a Matt Forte touchdown run. Nolan Carroll with a 20. And tackled by Corey Graham after a return of 23. Well, can Miami get Tyler Thigpen and the offense moving? They need to next.
Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Coors Light, the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Back in Miami, Matt Forte with the touchdown run. 102 yards of offense for Forte, 95 on the ground. Miami has a total of 101 yards with 1:52 to go in the third. Can Miami get anything going? From their own 22. Ricky Williams picks up 2. Well, the Dolphins came into this game injured. They sustained more. Let's check in with Alex.
Bob, the injury is really adding up for the Miami Dolphins. Brandon Marshall injured his hamstring at the end of the first half. He just came back out in street clothes on the sidelines. He will not be playing the rest of this game. Corey Proctor, also the starting center, out for the rest of the game.
Richie Incognito's been in at center. That pass intended for Marlon Moore, and it's incomplete. Moore, a rookie free agent. You see Chad Pennington placed on injured reserve earlier this week. Remember, he took over for Chad Henne last week. He was going to be the starter because of what they felt was ineffective play at quarterback.
And on the first play last week, Chad Pennington dislocates his shoulder. He goes to Ronnie Brown, has him put it back in, and then on the second play, came out again, finally called timeout, and came out of the game.
After he threw a completion.
A big completion.
19-yard completion, yeah. But Tony Sperano said, when I saw Chad coming out, I knew it wasn't good. 3rd and 8. Big Pen. First down. Heartline to the 45-yard line.
Guys, that was composure. That's the first time that Tyler Thigpen got outside the pocket. Watch how he gathers himself when he gets outside the pocket. Set, turn your hips, slow down, make a good accurate throw, lead the receiver inside. That's a real nice job.
And it was a real patient job because he allowed Hartline to slide and find a hole in his own.
Patrick Cobbs with a gain of a couple. Brian Urlacher on the tackle. Well, we talked about some of the problems for Miami at quarterback. Dolphins leaders in pass attempts since 2003. Jay Fiedler, A.J. Feely, Gus Farad. I mean, it's been a vast array of players. First team since the Lions back in the 40s and 50s to have that many different passers for a football team over the stretch of time. Pass for Cobbs and Briggs on the tackle, no gain on the play. The numbers haven't been gaudy for Jay Cutler, but they've been good enough to the tune of a 16-0 lead. And that is the final play of the third quarter. Well, the Chicago Bears trying to get win number 7 in Miami with a 16-0 lead through 3. Can Miami muster some offense? Well, the chess match, Rod Marinelli of the Bears to your left, and Dan Henning, the offensive coordinator of Miami, and Brian Urlacher of the Bears defense against Tyler Thigpen. 3rd and 9 as we start the fourth. Chicago in front, 16-0.
Right now, the guys in the left box are doing it to the guys in the right box.
One of the reasons why the Dolphins are 1 for 7 on 3rd downs. 4 attempts have been of 9 or more yards. They're 0 for 4. And Thigpen gets sacked by Urlacher.
Great call by Rod Marinelli. He showed him his zone in the back end, and then they brought Urlacher right up inside.
And Richie Incognito moved over from guard to center, and they come right up the middle. He goes right in between them. Cognito slides over, Urlacher comes around. Cognito still doesn't know that he's gone by. And that's the biggest thing. When you change the center, you lose the communication in the offensive line.
4th sack tonight by Chicago. After a loss of 9, Fields with the punt. Hester runs out of a Cobbs tackle and has a wall. And what are the odds that Hester doesn't get past the punter once and the long snapper the second time? 4 sacks tonight by the Bears defense. They're dominant in Miami, up 16-0.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Sprint, the Now Network, and by Pizza Hut. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut.
Well, a stroll along South Beach, but Miami's trying to figure out a way to get some offense going, being shut out. They've only been shut out at home only once in the last 40 years, 2001 by the Jets. Bears in total control. Chester Taylor gets about a half yard. Cameron Wake on the tackle. Well, you know, the Jay Cutler is one of those real lightning rods based on the way he wound up leaving Denver in the dispute with Josh McDaniels and owner Pat Bowlen. They moved heaven and earth to bring him to Chicago, looking for that guy to lead the franchise. Guys, is he that guy?
I think he is, and I think he marries up very well with what Mike Martz wants to do offensively. He talked about being very comfortable in this offense. It's just a question of the weapons getting comfortable around. I believe he can be a franchise quarterback here.
Second and 9, middle of the field. Devin Hester, first down to the 36, gain of 13.
Yeah, he has franchise skills. But for me, the whole thing comes down to winning. as you can take all the numbers, you can take all the stats, throw that crap out. You got to prove you're a winner consistently. And I think with Mike Martz, he's got a chance with his offense. Keep in mind, they're all still learning this. This is only the 10th week into the season. They will continue to get better as they have to this point in the season. They'll continue to grow, and Cutler will get better.
Olin Kreutz, the center, talked about the details, and everybody's starting to understand the details of what has to be done. Cutler, Hester, brought down hard by Vontae Davis after a gain of 9.
I've been asked before, what's the best attribute a quarterback can have? And Jay Cutler has a defense, because they're going to bail you out. They've been in 4 games this year of the 9 that have been decided by 3 points. They've won 2 and lost 2, but he has a defense that, if he does get a little sideways, has a chance to bail him out. He also has a great kick return guy who can create field position for him. They start the best in the National Football League from a field position standpoint, so lots of things going for him in a positive way.
Second and short. Chester Taylor, first down to the 41, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to be Webb again for his 3rd hold of the night.
73 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
You know, Jay's having a conversation with him, saying, look, just get in front of him.
Working on Langford. Actually,
I don't know.
Not as bad as I thought it would.
No, I thought the old arm got out, the old grab you around the neck deal.
Where our booth is, looking at it live, it looked a lot worse than it was right there.
Chicago has controlled the clock. They've controlled the snaps. They've controlled possession. And Jay Cutler will control a timeout with 11:42 to go. Up by 16 here in Miami. Back in Miami, the new NFL.com mobile apps are here. No matter where you are, you can track the scores, set up fantasy lineups, and get highlights. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. Off the Chicago timeout, 2nd and 12. Chester Taylor finds a cutback lane and takes it to the 39 and picks up 5 on the play.
You know, just buried in the middle of that, Cameron Wake makes a pretty darn good play. And he has to, because Mike Tice, I think, has gotten this offensive line solidified. And one of the things, I was speaking to Mike earlier, and he said, you know, everybody talks about the learning curve for the players and learning this offense. He said, and that's true. But there's just as big a learning curve for us coaches to have to learn not only the offense, but what our guys can do in it. I think he's done a good job.
3rd and 7 for Cutler. Under pressure, gets sacked back at the 31-yard line. Quentin Moses, who's celebrating his 27th birthday today, gets the sack.
That time, Jay held the ball a little bit longer than Frank Omiel thought he was going to. Left side, you watch right there. He takes him outside, step up. You have to either step up and run forward. You can't go laterally because your offensive linemen have a clock in their head as well.
And a set point, and the set point was deeper than normal.
2nd sack of Cutler. Maynard gets the punt away under pressure. Devon Best calls for a fair catch after a 49-yard punt. Well, really one of the key components, guys, tonight has been the play of the Chicago defense, attacking the running game and taking that away from Miami.
Well, we said at the start of the day, Coach Sperano said he felt good about being able to run the football and trying to create 3rd and manageable. Well, the Chicago Bear defense has taken that completely away. They've rushed the passer effectively, they've taken the run game away, and they've done it to a lesser offensive line, minus a quarterback, but they've dominated them.
7 possessions, 6 first downs for the Dolphins. Thigpen, chased by Briggs, goes airborne. And Urlacher makes the tackle after a gain of 7.
When we had a chance to sit with Lovie Smith last night, he made 2 points. He said, number one, we can't let them run the football. They haven't done that. Number two, we want to make Tyler Thigpen try and beat us. They've done that and contained him very well, and they've turned him into a runner.
Coach Smith showing the nimble feet as Thigpen gets hit, and the play is blown dead. So it's ruled a sack for Peppers, his second of the ball game.
That was a bit of a gift. That was a thankful quick whistle, because Tyler was trying to get out and do something, and he wound up letting the ball go on the ground, and the whistle saved him.
And they picked up the flag, and they spotted at the 20-yard line.
This has been a little exciting with Richie Incognito snapping in the gun tonight.
So the 5th sack of Thigpen. He's the backup to the backup. Middle of the field and late. Intended for Best, and Peppers took a shot from his own man as they were all closing in on Devon Best.
And that is the first pass attempt to try and get the ball to Devon Best, and
Chris Harris hit him.
There's just absolutely nowhere for that ball to get through for any type of a completion.
Well, and if you're wondering why is Julius Peppers defending a pass, they like to use him in zone blitz schemes because of his athleticism.
Punt right to the sideline to Hester. He can operate in small spaces. Hester into Miami territory. 53-yard punt. Return of 34. There is a flag on the play. And a hat down.
You can't allow him any space. I mean, you have to kick it out of bounds. If you're going to kick it that far, kick it out of bounds. Don't give him a chance to take the short field.
Legal block in the back. Number 38 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Danielle Manning called for the penalty to negate the return. Right there, behind the back. Hester was off to the races, but it's coming back. Bears by 16. Now the Chicago Bears trying to close in on win number 7. 3-0 in the division. All those division games in Chicago. Big game this weekend, Green Bay at Minnesota. So the Bears will have to go on the road for their last 3 division games, but this is a team doesn't have a ton of injuries, and it feels like they're trending in the right direction as far as execution. Forte picks up a yard. Channing Crowder on the tackle. You know, when you talk about the teams in the NFC, Michael Vick and the performance he had for Philadelphia on Monday night.
Boy, did he.
The Atlanta Falcons, who we saw last week.
At home.
We talked about the Giants leading into last week before they lost to the Cowboys. As you look at Michael Vick, 20 of 28, 333 yards, 80 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, combined for 6. First player in NFL history to accomplish all of that.
Finest performance I've seen in a quarterback in my entire life.
It was dominating.
The Bears tend to be an afterthought in these discussions. 2nd and 9, no gain on the play.
Well, they've been an afterthought because they've been inconsistent. That's their biggest thing. And there's an old adage in the National Football League. It's not who you are, it's when you play them. It's not, go something like that.
That was very well put.
Thank you very much.
Right. I like that, Professor.
And when you're playing this Bears team now, they're better than they were at the start of the season. And they have continued to get better. For example, on the other side of the ball tonight, the Miami Dolphins, minus with their injured players, they're not the same team that they were just 2 weeks ago. So when you play them is important.
And Lovie Smith mentioned, you know, we've been hit with these injuries the last couple of years. This year, right now, we're relatively healthy. Cutler on a 3rd down. Tries to squeeze it in and nearly intercepted by Benny Sapp for the 2nd time tonight, intended for Earl Bennett.
Bob, you're talking about in this division with Green Bay and Minnesota playing this weekend, you also have the Giants and the Eagles going at it. And now it's almost become a week-to-week thing. We thought, I think for 4 or 5 weeks, there wasn't a better team in football than the Giants. They were playing terrific football, and then all of a sudden the Eagles jump up and you say, well, I'm not sure. Find out more this weekend.
It's a mercurial league. there are teams up and down every week.
Maynard to punt. Javon Best will let it bounce, and it takes a favorable roll inside the 40 and down at the 33. 49-yard punt on a spectacular night in Miami. It's a big night for the Bears, up 16. Well, the Bears defense tonight has stifled Tyler Thigpen and the Miami offense with 7:14 to go. It's 16-0 Chicago. Javon Best in motion. Thigpen on a play fake. Avoids the pressure. Gonna run, chased by Melton. Out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Well, this defense has been ferocious, and Rod Marinelli, the defensive coordinator, brings a certain level of accountability, doesn't he?
Well, one of the things he does, he wants everybody getting to the ball. And when you put this tape on for the Chicago Bears, you see that. Pursuit, they're relentless, and he marks and grades every play, including effort. And one of the things that is one of his pet peeves is if you loaf, you cannot play for him. This guy will grade every single step you take.
Second and 6. Thigpen. Ronnie Brown, who's been quiet, has a first down to the 45. So, Matt, what is a loaf?
Well, glad you asked, because Rod defines it 5 different ways. The first thing, number one, is you cannot pass up a hit. If you run, and then the second one is change of speed. So if you're running and then all of a sudden you have to speed up to make the play, that's a loaf. If you stay on the ground, it's okay to get knocked down and get back up. If you get passed by a teammate going to tackle somebody, that's a loaf. And if you Velcro onto somebody, that means if you get blocked and stay blocked, that's a loaf. Now, you want to hear some funny stuff, start talking to the players in the defense about getting graded for loafs. We talked to Tillman the other night, and just talking to him, he's like, getting passed by a teammate? Julius Peppers runs by everybody.
Thigpen sacked by Peppers back at the 38.
And that surely was not a loaf.
Loss of 6 on the play. On the previous play, right tackle Vernon Carey went out, so Lyden Murth is now in at right tackle.
And he gets a heavy dose right here of Julius Peppers, and that's just too easy.
And they have just run out of linemen to be able to play in different positions. That was the last of the active linemen for this game. So,
yeah, and it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And right now, they're playing with others.
6 sacks on Thigpen. Screen. Ronnie Brown to the 44. Lance Briggs on the tackle after a gain of 5.
If you see the end of that play, you'll see 5 or 6 Chicago Bears around the ball all the time. And that goes back to the relentless nature that they preach with this defense. And, you know, I don't want to get too thick here with the hyperbole, but when you put the tape on, it's evident. We all sat down and watched and said, look at these guys. Man, they're flying to the football. That is preached by Rod Marinelli.
And another 3rd and long for Miami. They're 0 for 6 in 9+. Ronnie Brown hit by Tillman. No loaf in there. Tackled at the 49-yard line. So you're down 16. There's 4:38 to go.
You go for it.
He has to go for it.
You go for it. I mean, there's no reason not to. And I like this. I like what Tony's doing on this play, because you've seen times where coaches have punted it away, and I don't see what purpose it serves. Plus, the other thing is, if you're the Miami Dolphins, Chad Henne got hurt last week, but he's number 3 tonight, which means that there's a prospect that in the not too distant future, you can get him back and be your starting quarterback.
4th and 6. Thigpen with time. Javon Best gets hammered by Danielle Manning, incomplete.
That hit caused, that's Danielle Manning the whole time. That's the kind of football that Rod Marinelli's talking about. And when you talk to him about football, he preaches team, he teaches selflessness, he preaches hard hitting, and getting to the football.
And let me just add this. When you're a quarterback, that's how you get your wide receivers destroyed. Throw it high up inside on a deep pass, and the safeties are just going to nail it.
What do you call that, hospital ball?
That's it. That's like...
Danielle Manning with the big hit on Devon Best. Miami turns it over on downs. Matt Forte will lose 2 back at the 49. Cameron Wake, he hasn't loafed at all.
No, Matt talked about Rod Marinelli and what they've done on the defensive side. Mike Nolan's group, the Miami defensive offensive coordinator, his group has played a very proud game tonight. They have had absolutely no help whatsoever from their offense. One of the poorest offensive performances I've seen as far as helping your team out.
Miami has called a timeout. You got to look at Mike Nolan, former defensive coordinator with the Denver Broncos last year. You know, we talked about the Miami Dolphins and Tony Sparano and sort of the influence that he has. Tomorrow, NFL Network delivers Parcells in his own words. Don't miss Bill Parcells' Reflections on Life in Football tomorrow at 8 Eastern, only on NFL Network.
Well, this has a Parcells imprint on it. And you look at the people that are playing inside, and I mean, they're just a good, solid football team defensively. Mike Nolan's done a good job, but he's taken what Bill Parcells has put in place here and built on it.
Forte keeps his feet, fights to the Miami 45-yard line, and Miami will use their second of 3 timeouts with 3:46 to go. Well, they've dialed up the defense tonight with the Chicago Bears, and really what they did was they choked off any attempt of a running game, and they forced the game into Tyler Thigpen's hands, just as Brian Urlacher told Alex Flanagan before the game, and they've executed perfectly tonight.
Tyler Thigpen in the first half looked scared. I mean, he looked nervous, he looked scared. Looked like he settled down a little bit more in the second half, but they haven't had the ball. I mean, they haven't been able to convert first downs, I'll grant that. But I think the Bears offensively just controlled this game to the point where they felt like they could keep the ball away from Miami's offense.
Well, the thing for me is when Miami got those linemen hurt, and it changed the whole complexion of this game. They lost confidence in their running game, and then they had to throw the football. And that's when the defense of the Bears kind of took over this game.
There's one of the most deceptive things you'll see. 149 yards to 133 for Tyler Thigpen, and it wasn't that close. Under 50% pass completion percentage. I think Jay Cutler did a real nice job of managing this football game tonight.
And the Bears have run it for 138 yards. Slant, first down, Johnny Knox. Working on Sean Smith, gain of 7.
Now that's a Jay Cutler throw.
That's a heck of a throw there, Joe.
That's a laser. This is what Jay Cutler can do. There isn't a throw that he doesn't believe that he can make. This comes from the hip. I mean, it's low where you want it.
Look at that coverage.
It gets in before Sean Smith's arm comes down.
That's good catch, great throw, good coverage. I mean, what can you do to that?
Nothing. You get up and
play the next play.
Play the next play. You're right.
19 first downs for Chicago. Forte loses about a yard. Kendall Langford on the tackle.
The other night, I saw Michael Vick make a couple throws I haven't seen him make maybe ever.
Michael Vick has become a very accurate passer deep down the field. He's learned how to put touch on the ball. Marty Morningwig has done a terrific job there, and Andy Reid just bringing him along, and he's playing much further from the line of scrimmage, which makes him a much better weapon when it comes to scrambling, and because of his height, to be able to see downfield better.
And we'll have a chance to see them in a couple of weeks in Philadelphia.
They'll take on the Houston Texans. Miami used their last time out with 2:55 to go, down by 16. And how about Olin Kreutz? You know, he said, we're starting to everybody's starting to figure out what we need to do up front in order for this offense to do what they need to do down the field.
Well, this is the third game that this line has started together, and consistency and continuity allow you to do a lot of things on offense in both the pass and run game.
2nd and 11. Forte will lose another yard. Cameron Wake on the tackle. Well, Miami's about to lose a little ground in the AFC East with the Jets getting ready to take on Houston this weekend. Thanksgiving night, join us from the new Meadowlands Stadium as the Jets host the Cincinnati Bengals, a repeat of last year's playoff matchup won by the Jets.
You get your second helping of stuffing. You get that gravy, you get the cranberry. Now you take the leg that you put away and saved it for later on, and there's your meal with us. Matt.
Never leftovers with Matt.
No, there's not.
Good point by you guys.
3rd and 13. Cutler gets sacked with a flag on the play as well. Carlos Dansby, Langford, and Misi got pressure. Loss of 8. We'll check the flag.
Illegal use of the hands to the face, number 73 offense. Penalties decline, 4th down.
As Marcus Webb gets called for his 4th penalty of the night. But the Bears in total control. Defense has been the key. Up by 16 with 2-minute warning.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Lexus. This is the pursuit of tomorrow. This is the pursuit of perfection. And by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
Rich Eisen here telling you to please stay tuned for the post-game program with me, Mooch, Dion, and Marshall Falk. Will have a guest on the set of the K Jewelers post-game show. And we assume there'll be a lot of Bears fans around our set. Bob, it's absurd how many Bears fans are still hanging out here tonight.
Well, one of the original NFL franchises, Rich, and they made the trip to South Florida.
Why wouldn't you?
Those great national.
It's November in Chicago. Why wouldn't you come to South Florida?
Bears fans always travel well. They're like Steeler fans. You see them everywhere.
Maynard on the punt. Devon Best from his own 15. Out to the 22. 34-yard punt, 7-yard return. I'll take a look back at what transpired here tonight. Tyler Thigpen, ball deflected by Julius Peppers, picked off by Charles Tillman. Brian Urlacher, one of 6 sacks tonight. Julius Peppers has 3. Matt Forte with the game's only touchdown. 3 Robbie Gould field goals. All Chicago here tonight with 1:48 to go. Closing in on win number 7 on the season.
Brandon Marshall injured. Got a hamstring problem. Don't know how that'll affect the Dolphins offensively.
Marlon Moore didn't get out of bounds.
You see Charles Tillman there? That's what I was talking about with that Velcro. Okay, he got blocked. He disengaged, did not stay blocked, and then got in on the tackle.
So he doesn't get a loaf.
He does not get a loaf. That's a good player. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. It's one of the most underrated corners in the league.
Middle of the field, Moore again out to the 41-yard line. Ball came loose down by contact. Dolphins have been shut out at home only once in the last 40 years. 2001 against the Jets, 24-0. Jets factor into another line as well. Thigpen, Hartline, tackled at the 48 by Lance Briggs. Chicago last pitched a shutout in the 2006 season in New Jersey against the Jets. They won 10-0. That's the year they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Colts here in this building. Thigpen to Bess, incomplete. Well, the Miami Dolphins trip to the Oakland Raiders,
They're
then the
playing
Browns.
well.
Browns are playing well. Jets are tough. Buffalo, you know, you almost believe they're going to put up points. Detroit, their front four is probably as good as anybody. Of course, the Pats right now, that young defense of the New England Patriots have really begun to find themselves.
That's a tough schedule.
And who's your quarterback going to be?
Well, all the injuries. I mean, the offensive lineman going down. Marshall tonight with the hamstring. Who's your quarterback? It's more than just the schedule for Miami. It's not just who you're playing. It's who do you have to play with.
Bodies.
Ball start, number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Lyden Murtha, who's in at right tackle. Now for the Chicago Bears. On their way to 7-3, a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Then they have a division game against the Lions. Still have to go to Minnesota, still have to go to Green Bay. They're currently 3-0 in the division, and Green Bay has a trip to Minnesota this weekend.
But you made the point, Bob, they're 3-0 at home in the division, right? So it means they still have to travel.
That's a tough schedule.
Both
of them have tough schedules.
But Chicago is, at this point, appreciably healthier. Big Pen, intended for Bess, incomplete.
So the Chicago Bears will get their 700th win in franchise history, the most ever in the National Football League with this win tonight.
They started as the Decatur Staleys in 1920, the first year of the NFL.
Then became the, what, Chicago something else's? You knew I was going to ask you.
They went to the Bears.
You knew it was coming.
Chicago Staleys in 21.
That's
then
right,
they became the Chicago Bears.
That's right.
In 1922.
I knew you knew that.
Trying to help you, Joe. Low snap to Thigpen. Under pressure again, avoids sack 7. Completes it to Anthony Fasano at the 41. It's been a quiet night for the Miami tight end, who's had a good season. Just signed a new contract extension.
Get up under the center and ground the ball. He's lost 4 plays in this drive because they haven't grounded the ball.
Thigpen, Ricky Williams. And that'll do it to the 29 after a gain of 12. Lovie Smith and the Chicago Bears, the first team in NFL history to reach the 700 win mark. And they do it in convincing fashion in Bears style with defense and a shutout. 16-0 the final score. And Chicago improves to 7-3 on the season with a half-game lead over the Green Bay Packers, who play in Minnesota on Sunday. Matt Forte had the only touchdown, 97 yards rushing for Forte, 104 yards of total offense for Forte. A couple Jersey guys, Anthony Fasano and Greg Olson, tight ends, sharing notes. Cameron Wake, even in defeat, played spectacular.
2 Penn Staters right there. They were teammates back there. Brandon Marshall, they need to get healthy. Remember what we said?
Well, they need to get healthy a lot of places. You need to get some offensive linemen, your quarterback situation.
Well, Jay Cutler gets another win. He's with Alex Flanagan.
Another win, Jay. A short work week. We talked all week about the importance of executing. How did you execute tonight?
Offensive line did a great job. Defense came to play again as they have all year. Gave us a good field position. We ran the ball extremely well that second half and able to punch one in. We struggled a little bit in that first half of really converting down here, but got that last one in the third quarter, and I think defense did the rest of the work.
What happened on the pick? I know Lovie probably gave you some words at the half.
Just trying to get rid of it. We kind of mixed up a little bit of the play call, so just trying to get rid of it, put a little bit too much on it. So,
Jay, put into perspective where this team is right now at this point in the season and where you're heading.
We're 7-3. We're looking good in the North Division, so we just got to keep getting better and better. This is the time of year, November and December, when you want to play your best ball. So, as long as we keep winning ball games and getting better each week, we're going to give ourselves a chance.
All right, Jay, thank you so much. Bob, Philly's up next for this team.
That's right, and a good win on the road in Miami as the Bears win it 16-0. Stay tuned to the NFL Network, and we'll take you down to the field for the Kay Jewelers postgame show with Rich Eisen, Deion Sanders, Marshall Faulk, and Steve Mariucci. Matt Forte had tonight's only touchdown as the Chicago Bears knock off the Miami Dolphins. 16-0 the final score as we kicked off Week 11 in style here on NFL Network. A road victory for the Bears, improving to 7-3. The postgame show still to come here on NFL Network.